Very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashing Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. Sri Lanka catering posts nearly 6 billion rupees net profit in first quarter. The country's first ever digital accounting expo kicked off yesterday in Colombo. News in detail. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe noted that relaxing the travel warnings imposed on Sri Lanka by countries such as Germany, Switzerland, India and China will revitalize country's tourism industry, which was severely affected by the Easter Sunday attacks. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe at a meeting with a group of parliamentarians yesterday pointed out that the cabinet has taken a decision to initiate a special promotion campaign for tourism focusing the European countries, India and China. He expressed his confidence that other countries that have imposed travel bans on Sri Lanka will soon take measures to lift the ban, considering the immediate security measures taken by the government to counter terrorist activities in the country. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe reiterated that most industries showed drawbacks following the terror attacks and expressed his assurance that these sectors can get back to normalcy soon. The country's first ever digital accounting expo, organized by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, was launched yesterday along with 26 leading IT companies. The CA Sri Lanka Techno Fair featured a wide array of local and international digital products and services ranging from automation, artificial intelligence, blockchain data, cloud computing and data analysis. Delivering the welcome speech at the event, President of the Institution of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, Jagath Pereira, highlighted the measures the company has taken to meet the current trends of development, amending the institute's curriculum.
The theme that I use always, this is the time for us to learn, unlearn and to relearn, because technologically the world is moving very fast. What we learned yesterday may not have much value for tomorrow. So we need to unlearn what we learned, and we all have got to relearn. And for this purpose, we are revamping our curricula for the students.
Moreover, Group Chief Operating Officer of Dialog Exciter, Dr. Rainer Deutschmann, said that the exponential growth of the digital world amplifies the unpredictability of the future businesses.
The developments that we see in terms of the computation exponentially rising every year, every 2 years, a doubling of the computational power means that we cannot really predict. So if I've shown this earlier, hard to see, I think, the picture. It means there is an exponential growth of the computation power, which obviously fuels a lot of the applications that we do. And we feel now we are at a peak in 2019. But the point is, if I just go 10 years on, and again, I don't think you can see it very nicely, if you go 10 years on from now, the computational power that we actually have today is almost invisible as compared to the computational power that we will see 10 years from now. So that means the predictability of what is going to happen even in a few years from now is not there at all. Which means, and that is to the point of what we have seen from the introduction and from Mr. Pereira's words, we have to now continuously embrace technology and learn how to apply. There isn't a silver bullet.
One of the fully owned subsidiaries of Sri Lankan Airlines, Sri Lankan Catering Limited, has recorded a steady financial performance for the financial year ended 31st March 2019 with a 24% year-on-year growth. Sri Lankan Airlines in a statement today announced that Sri Lankan Catering Limited has recorded a steady financial growth of 4.7 billion rupees in the first quarter of this year. The unaudited financial statement for the quarter says that the operating profit ratio of the Sri Lankan catering stood at 44% in the year 2017-18 and it improved to 48% during the year 2018-19. The company also reported a post-tax net profit of 5.7 billion rupees during the year, which is a 46% increase compared to the previous year. The net exchange gain increased from 202 million rupees in 2017-18 to over 1 billion rupees in 2018-19. Sri Lankan Catering provides approximately 24,000 in-flight meals per day for airlines that operate to the Bandaranaike International Airport and Mattala International Airport. These include globally reputed airlines such as Emirates Airline, Qatar Airways, Malaysian Airlines, Air China, Cathay Pacific Airways, China Eastern Airlines, China Southern Airlines, Korean Air, Turkish Airlines, KLM Royal Dutch Airlines and Sri Lankan Airlines. Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Newly appointed Air Force Commander Air Marshal Sumangala Dias assumed duties this morning following the handing over of the command of the Sri Lanka Air Force to him by outgoing Commander Air Chief Marshal Kapila Jayampathy yesterday. Air Marshal Sumangala Dias, who was appointed as the commander of the Sri Lanka Air Force, assumed duties this morning at the Air Force headquarters as the 17th commander of the Sri Lanka Air Force. Air Marshal Sumangala Dias was promoted to the 3-star rank of Air Marshal by President Maithripala Sirisena. He has joined the Air Force in 1984 as an officer cadet and has rendered his service as the Chief of Staff of the Air Force from October 2016 until today. Moreover, he has been awarded the Ranasura Medal on 4 occasions of gallantry and Uttama Seva Medal and the Vishishta Seva Vibhushanaya for his exemplary service. He is also a recipient of the Deshaputra Award as a result of injuries sustained due to the enemy fire over Silawatra during an Air Force operation in 1990. A public seminar was organized yesterday by the National Authority on Tobacco and Alcohol in order to mark the World No Tobacco Day, which falls on 31st May every year. On 31st of May, the World Health Organization and global partners celebrate World No Tobacco Day. The theme of World No Tobacco Day this year is Tobacco and Lung Health. The National Authority on Tobacco and Alcohol highlights at the seminar that tobacco kills about half of its users and more than 6 million people die of tobacco consumption each year globally, and 1 million of them are non-smokers who are exposed to second-hand smoking. Addressing the gathering, President of the Sri Lanka Medical Association, Dr. Anula Vijayasundara, pointed out that nearly 22,000 people die annually due to smoking.
The harm of tobacco cannot be overemphasized. Ladies and gentlemen, are you aware of the fact that tobacco, when you smoke a cigarette, you are inhaling 4,000 chemicals, out of which about 400 directly cause disease, and out of which nearly 50 are totally carcinogenic. So when you smoke a cigarette, remember you're killing yourself. So that should be a deterrent to you to stop smoking. In Sri Lanka, on an average, about 20,000 die as a result of smoking, direct and as a result of passive smoking effects. Globally, when you consider, 7 million die globally as a result of tobacco smoking. Apart from that, the burden of disease is tremendous, right? The occurrence of chronic obstructive airway disease, aggravation of bronchial asthma, the incidence of bronchocarcinoma is 20 times higher among smokers than non-smokers. So that briefly is the burden of disease caused by tobacco smoking.
The Ministry of Finance yesterday launched the electronic government procurement system as a major reform in public finances, improving transparency in procurement and minimizing the room for corruption in the public sector. The electronic government procurement system, which is commonly known as EGP system, was introduced to address the existing shortcomings in the public finance handling and to facilitate fast-tracking procurement decisions. Speaking at the event, Finance Minister Mangala Samaravira said that the new EGP system will have nearly 30 billion rupees to the Treasury while improving the public financial management to a greater extent. Minister Samaravira further added that the Sri Lanka annually spends nearly 15% of the GDP on public procurement and it needs closer attention from all the stakeholders in the public management systems. Minister also highlighted that corruption, misappropriation and mismanagement of public assets must be tackled with a policy of zero tolerance. The Meteorology Department states that the showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the western, southern, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces. Fairly heavy falls, about 100 millimeters, can be expected at some places in southern and Sabaragamu provinces and in Kalutara district. Fairly heavy falls, about 50 millimeters, can be expected at some places in central and Uva provinces. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers, and the general public is requested to be precautious to minimize damages caused by lightning activities. Winds will be southwesterly and speed will be 20 to 40 kilometers per hour in the sea areas around the island. Wind speed can increase up to 50 to 55 kilometers per hour at times in the sea area off the coast extending from Puttalam to Kankasanthuree via Mana, and the sea area off the coast extending from Hambantota to Batiklo via Puthuville. The sea area off the coast extending from Hambantota to Batiklo via Puthuville can be fairly rough. We'll be back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today. The all-share price index gained 4.71 points to close at 5,324.54, and the S&P SL20 dropped 1.30 points to close at 2,478. The turnover was 223.5 million rupees and over 10 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all the news for today. Join us tomorrow at the same time. Until then, take care. Good night.